All right, I'm going to leave the SMT premium newsletter. I'm going to leave it open for enrollment for a bit longer. I'm going to go into a lot more detail, and I did go into a lot more detail in the weekend report that was just published. So if you want to understand what is happening and what's going to happen in metals, I invite you to get on board the SMT right now. You can start getting prepared. We're going to have a major buying opportunity, but we are at the top of an intermediate cycle, starting the declining phase of that intermediate cycle. And many people, at least people that don't understand how cycles and sentiment work, they're always way too early. Most people at the top of intermediate cycles, they've got the fear of missing out, FOMO, and that causes people to buy too early if they're caught in the beginning of the decline. I'm seeing this already. People are assuming that it's already way too late to sell, and they say that because they think it's going to bottom soon, so they don't want to sell now because they think it's going to bottom next week, and it's just not the case. So let's look at a long-term chart here. The first thing you need to understand, and this will serve you well in every market and in your entire investment career, all markets regress to the mean. I call it the rubber band principle. So when you stretch the rubber band too far to one side, it tends to rebound or regress violently back in the other direction. The further you stretch it, the more aggressive the regression event tends to be. So you see when we get these periods where, and this is a chart of gold, but where you get these periods where price stretches too far above the mean, then you'll have a regression event. And that can occur in one of two ways: either a sharp move back down, or a long sideways move that allows the moving average time to catch up. This was a bit of a combination of both here. Same thing here, and of course this was the crash into the 2020 recession. Violent rebound, and then again stretched, so this time sideways, and then a huge move up, stretches very far above this is a 200 day moving average. And then we have just, a combination of both. A really long move back down, eats up a lot of time, and also a severe retracement that goes far below the 200-day moving average. And on the weekly chart, you can see this is is kind of regressing back to the 200-week moving average. That's why you're seeing it go back below the 200-day. And then we get our move into the 8-year cycle low here. A very strong rally out of that. Again, stretched long ways above the moving average. And then a multi-month move down into this intermediate degree bottom. And this just really got sentiment very negative. This is the point where I was trying to tell people that miners had reached that blood in the street stage, where they had just, even though they're crappy businesses, they're just too cheap and you need to buy, and that was what we needed to do. And actually the miners double bottomed right here, but and then you get the breakout move. So all of this sideways chop, the move down into the 4-year cycle low, this all set the stage for the death of the cartel. The cartel, again, I'll say it again, the cartel's dead. They tried multiple times to get gold below 2,000. They couldn't do it, and then they got their teeth kicked in when we got this short squeeze rally on the breakout above this resistance zone here, roughly 2090. And then of course every gold bug in the world saw that breakout, and they all are assuming that now we're headed to 5,000. My bull market target is probably 10,000, maybe even above that. But everybody assumes that the breakout means that we're starting to move to 5,000, 7,000, 10,000, whatever now. And we're on our way. And so you get this almost parabolic move, and it stretches price way, way, way too far above this is the 200-day moving average. It's even more extreme above the 200-week moving average. And this sets the stage for a correction that cleanses this sentiment that was built up during this parabolic move. And now we're starting that corrective move, and you still got 90% of gold bugs are worried about missing the next leg up. And it's the same at every one of these intermediate tops. It takes time to squash that FOMO that is built up because of this very strong rally. So if you think it's too late to sell, you are wrong. This is going a lot lower. And again, I'll cover all of this in detail and why and what parameters have to be met before we get our bottom and our next great buying opportunity. But it is not too late to sell. You should sell on any rally at this point. And we may even have a rally Monday and Tuesday, and it's these rallies that keep people hoping and holding. And we had a very strong rally. Was it Wednesday or Thursday of this past week? And I saw all of the gold bugs saying, okay, we've bounced off the 50-day moving average, and now we're going to continue the parabolic move. And then what happens? They all got trapped on Friday when price sliced through that 50-day moving average. And so now they're trapped. They don't want to sell. They think it's too late to sell, when in reality it's not too late to sell, because this is probably going back down to this 200-day moving average. And so now what you do is you hear people, they don't want to sell because they missed the opportunity to sell it at the highs, and now their mining positions are down 10, 12% from these all-time highs. They don't want to give up those profits. And so now in their mind, they're rationalizing, well, I'll just hold through the correction. They say that because they think the correction is going to be over next week and that we're going to head back up. And if we get a rally Monday or Tuesday, that will validate that thought for them, that feeling that the correction is going to be short and sweet. But then what's going to happen is we will get another leg down, and we'll keep making lower highs and lower lows. And this will continue until we completely erase that FOMO that precious metals investors are still feeling, because we're still close to this intermediate top. When we get to the intermediate bottom, none of those people will want to pull the trigger. The sentiment will have completely reversed, and we will, nobody will want to buy. But that's the point at where you want to buy. So when everybody thinks that price is going to the moon, that's where you want to sell. When everybody thinks that there's that the cartel's back in control of the metals and the metals can never go back up, then that's when you're going to want to buy. So again, I will leave the SMT open for new enrollment for now. I've explained in much more detail how and why these intermediate declines happen, what parameters have to be met before we're ready to buy, and we've still got multiple weeks yet before this is ready to bottom and give us our next leg up. In the meantime, we've still got some limited potential, but we've got potential in other markets. But the entire market, I think, is at severe risk, and I'm pretty sure we're going to have it move down into a 4-year cycle low at some point here in the next 2 or 3 months. But I do think we still got a little bit of opportunity in the stock market. But at this point in the metals, you need to understand what's happening and understand that this is not going to be over quickly. We got a lot further to go. We're in the middle of a profit-taking event, and that's all. The fundamentals haven't changed. It's just a profit-taking event. We heard all of the nonsense about, China's buying and that's going to prevent a profit-taking event. Heard the same crap about uranium. Uranium's priced different than any other commodity, and that's going to prevent it from correcting, and that's just nonsense. Sentiment is what drives profit-taking events, and sentiment is more powerful than fundamentals in the short term. So until you get to a parabolic phase, there will always be profit-taking events, and fundamentals cannot stop that. So that's what's happening. We're having a profit-taking event. You need to understand what drives these profit-taking events and what the signs are that the profit-taking event is done, and that now the fundamentals are ready to resume and give us the next leg up.